The truth about the richest player you never knew. You may never have heard of him, but this former NBA player has a net worth in the hundreds of millions. Drafted in 1975 and playing through most of the 1980s, Junior Bridgman flipped his modest NBA paychecks into a massive portfolio of businesses worth around $400 million. Keep watching to find out how he did it, but first allow us to kindly request you subscribe, like, and comment following its conclusion. A modest playing career in relative anonymity. Bridgman wasn't a bad player, capable of playing both small forward and shooting guard. He was taken 8th overall in the 1975 NBA draft. He didn't take the league by storm, but following a modest rookie season, Bridgman developed into a double-figure scorer for the next 9 seasons. Following those 9 seasons, he played 2 more as a veteran bench warmer. Bridgman's 12 total seasons in the NBA and averaged 13.6 per game overall. Not bad. Had he played for the Los Angeles Lakers, Boston Celtics, or some other marquee team, he may have been a pretty well-known player, and this video wouldn't have been made. Instead, Bridgman played 10 of his 12 seasons for the Milwaukee Bucks, perhaps the least followed team in the league. Their only championship came in 1971. Bridgman spent the other 2 years of his career with Los Angeles Clippers, who until recently were one of the least popular teams in the league due to constant losing.
He's the man now with the shooting touch for Don Nelson in this period. Whips intercepted by Buckner. Now this time, just as Bill Russell pointed out, they're leaving a man back now.
Making good, but not great money. Despite playing 12 seasons in the NBA, Bridgman was not a rich man when he retired. NBA players were not paid anywhere near what they are today. The average NBA player did not start making more than $1 million until the 1990s or after Bridgman retired in 1987. For most of his career, Bridgman did not make very good money. NBA players in the 1970s played for the love of the game, not for the money they could make. The NBA really took off in popularity in the 1980s thanks to television contracts and the great Magic Johnson and Larry Bird rivalry. In truth, despite playing more than a decade in the NBA, Bridgman never made more than $350,000 in a single year. That was certainly a good living, especially in 1985 when he made that peak amount, but it's not the generational wealth players could make today. Bridgman would have to figure out some other way to make a living after calling it quits at age 33. What he found, what he built, would not only make him a living, but earn him his generational wealth today's players get in salary.
Gunfell working the fast break. Good pass. Walton to Bridgman. 37-106.
Starting small before rapid growth. Bridgman, towards the ends of his playing career, put his off-seasons to good use. He began working in a local Wendy's restaurant. His goal was to learn the business and see exactly how a successful Wendy's was run. Wendy's, of course, is a popular fast food chain. They were founded in 1969 when Dave Thomas opened the first location in Columbus, Ohio. The chain grew quickly and was global by the time the 1980s came around. Bridgman began modestly. He bought a franchise. He then bought more. By the time he retired in 1987, he owned 3 Wendy's locations. He picked the perfect time to invest. Wendy's had found success early on, but by the mid-1980s, sales had started to decline. Things got dire enough that in 1986, the company restructured itself. The parent company introduced new standards on cleaning, made all franchises carry the same menu, and ensured the look remained consistent. The changes worked and the company took off once again. This was right when Bridgman started to invest. Wendy's is currently the 3rd largest hamburger fast food chain in the world, with nearly 7,000 locations. Bridgman grew with the company. He began buying more and more locations upon his retirement. He became one of their largest franchise owners, creating a fortune. As Bridgman bought more franchises, his wealth and net worth grew with it, and he was able to accelerate how fast he bought up more locations. Eventually, he grew very wealthy. He currently owns more than 160 Wendy's locations. That's not all, though. In an effort to diversify, Bridgman also began buying Chili's locations. He owns more than 120 locations for that restaurant. All the while, Bridgman raised a family. He's been married nearly 40 years and has 3 grown children, all with MBAs and all hard at work at his business. With nearly 300 restaurants owned in total, it's a big business. It gives Bridgman a net worth of around $400 million. Not bad for a guy who played his career in relative obscurity. Now you can say you've heard of him.